Check it out, people. Welcome back to You Be Alright podcast, where we genuinely believe that you be alright. Stay tuned. We have some fun stories. Getting into a little bit of everything. As always, we can't stay on the topic, nor do we want to, because it's more fun that way. I am Gene Labordi. My brother, who's not in film right now, is Stephen Labordi. He's playing with his tennis in the bathroom. And my wife, Rachel Labordi, who does all the hard work for us. Rach, would you like to give us our plugs real quick?
Okay, we are on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. All of our social media handles are on the screen, so take a screenshot if you're watching the video, or you can go to our website to find all of our direct links there. The website is aml.news.blog.
The website will be the easiest for you, I think. But come along for the ride. Thanks, guys, for listening, and thanks for staying tuned. Yeah, this brings a weird memory, this song. A weird time where I was like, wasn't sure if I wanted to be an athlete or a skater.
Yeah.
You know, like, and then I quickly learned, like, the one time I was in the basement, I had my skateboard, and I was just trying to learn how to ollie, and it popped up and gave me a black eye, and I was like, skateboarding's not for me.
Yeah, learning the skateboard is, like, not for the faint of heart.
And just the way I would do things, immediately I was like, we had to go to the skate shop, which was it was called the G Spot.
Yeah. Purple building.
And I was like, I need skater shoes, and like I can't get a Walmart board. And Mom bought me like a decent, like,
with like actual trucks and all that.
Yeah, nothing yeah, like I even knew, I was like, let's go, and the guy was like, just go mid-grade, you'll be fine.
What brand was the board?
Actually, at first, I bought a G-Spot board. It wasn't like a Birdhouse, it was like one of theirs. And he was like, dude, they're just as good if you're just learning. Actually, I'll tell you what, they could have totally taken it. Because you walk in that fucking steep steps of the basement. Mm-hmm. And immediately I was like, I'm not cool enough to be here.
I'm in over my head.
I'm with my mom, who's like, why is this place called this? None of the clothes fit me, because it's all meant for skinny teenagers upstairs. And you go in the basement, and they have cool skateboarding videos and, like, couches for stoners to hang out on.
That skateboarding is, like, there's always outliers in every sport, like a black hockey player or, like, a short player in the NFL or NBA. But I can't think of a single overweight skateboarder ever. You just can't.
Yeah, it's just not meant to. I mean, there was times I remember, like, in high school, just hanging out with a buddy who kind of had a skateboard, and I was like, let me see if I can ollie still. I stepped on, and I go, yeah, I'm either going to break your board or I'm going to hurt myself.
Yeah. Probably both at some point.
But yeah, I was hanging out with this kid, Jeff, that lived in Foxwood Apartments, and he was kind of okay at skateboarding. And I was like, I could probably do that.
Yeah.
I had fun. But then, I don't know if it was after when I was like, every kid should have a bike. Definitely. You know what I mean? But like, I didn't want to. It's funny because now, like,
you didn't want to be a BMXer.
No, I wanted a BMX bike, like, because I was like, I want a bike. And like, all right, well, let's go to Walmart. And I was like, no, but we had that cool bike shop. Remember that old dude ran that bike shop in Bristol?
Yeah.
Like that all he did was bikes and
bike shops have made a comeback. There's a lot of them.
Well, that's what I was gonna say now, because like when we were growing up, probably still for you, like the BMX bike was the cool thing.
That was the only bike to get.
Yeah, like if you had like a 10-speed, you were like, your parents probably made you go to church a lot.
Yeah, right.
And stuff. But I got a cool bike and then lent it to my buddy Andy, and then his brother stole it. I was
being too nice. And he was a fucking great athlete. He could have totally ran home, no problem, walked home. And I was like, just take my bike and bring it back tomorrow. See you. And it was a nice one too. It was like, was that the Dino or the
Mongoose?
Maybe
no. It was like a type of brand that if you're into that world, like it's a good brand. Like like Mongoose is kind of like it's a good brand, but that's like general public. This was like it was like a Diamondback or something.
Okay.
I
used to get all those magazines and everything.
Yeah. That was a cool world because there was always something and it's funny because
lots of gear to buy.
But even at that point, I was like, I can play sports, but dude, I think I could do a backflip one of these days. I mean, the pinnacle of my bike, I could never hold a wheelie for a while. I would either just flip it up and land on my feet, or just like do a pedal and a half. I could never, because you see those kids now, dude, they are down New York City streets just holding wheelies for like an hour and a half.
Yeah. Well, I don't. Back then, like the wheelie wasn't the move.
No, the cool thing, the when I thought I was like, I can do this, I was able to do a full bar spin.
Okay.
You know, you just kind of like hop up a little bit, do a wheelie for a quick second, and just spin that thing as fast as you can.
The funny thing is, like, even that maneuver can result in you busting your chin on the handlebars. I never had the balls or really the desire to risk, as a big guy too, falling's that much worse.
You also didn't like... One, we all know when you're not good at something, you immediately go I don't want to do this.
I'm not into it. Yeah, but I don't even know if I ever tried with the BMX. I was too fat.
Yeah, and also like I was in a neighborhood with. As soon as you walked out the door, there was like 5-6 kids. Yeah. When you were at that age, you know, when you were 13,
we were still in Humeville.
Yeah, so like you had a bike solely to get to your buddy Barry's house, where you're like, let's just play video games.
Yeah, let's play Super Nintendo.
Yeah,
but it's weird, like these days you don't really see kids out and about riding bikes that much.
The only thing I will say is that one house at our parents' house in outskirts of Philly, there's the one house in the cul-de-sac I think has like 3 Mexican families living in there. That's what I was gonna say. Bikes have changed. Now it's almost like a BMX body, but it's got big like mountain bike tires.
Oh yeah,
on
you
it.
see all kinds of shit now.
You know, like that's and then when I see the videos of like dudes in the hood doing wheelies, that's what they have too. It's like a crossover type of thing.
Yeah, yeah. Or they have the real thick wheels on the back. You ever see those?
Those fat tires are pretty sweet. I actually have
like low rider bikes.
I've been at a Walmart, been like, that'd be fun to have around.
Yeah, that was not a thing in my day.
They're literally called fat tire bikes, I believe. And like they're literally meant for like to have some cushion and stuff, but
nowadays having a bike without a motor is like lame. There's so many cool fucking contraptions out there.
Dude, some of those e-bikes out there are really sweet. I've almost electric bike.
Okay.
Where it's a motor but it's a battery powered motor, and they've come a long way. Same with cars, like the battery motors have come a long way. I've been very close to almost financing one of those things because in my head,
how expensive are they?
Oh, dude, some of them are like over $7,000-8,000.
Holy shit!
I mean, but these are things like if you lived in New York.
Well, that's different. Then it's
that's replacing your car.
Right.
And I'm like, dude, Rachel, imagine me starting to get in a little bit of better shape because you can pedal, or like there's modes it can kind of just assist you, or you can be full just running on the engine. And I was like, I can start running errands in this thing. And then I'm like, all right, even as drunk as I've been, I'm like, I should probably wait till the morning to think about this some more.
Well, what do you think about that, Rachel?
I don't think he'll actually run errands.
Period.
Ever. So that's not a good.
Not for.
If I'll tell you what though, like if it was nice weather, and you were like, damn, I forgot to grab oranges, and I had a tiny little like motorbike that I'd be like, I'll go get oranges because then it's kind of fun.
You would never do that in a million years. You're too self-conscious.
Yeah, well, because that's what it eventually came down to. Because I've seen people that aren't even a little bit they're like a little bit overweight, and I go, "Come on, man, you don't look. Yeah, that bike's too small for you."
You would make fun of you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. And then also
plus to finance it, that's.
And I was going like low grade. I was like, I need something. First of all, I had to find the only company that makes the weight requirement electric bike. And even their cheapest model was like $2-3 grand.
Wow!
And it's like a car because then you can get like the extended battery model.
Oh, yeah, they got the packages, different packages.
Yeah, I'll tell you what though. I've heard the podcast stuff I listen to. Like, there's people out there that say these things are just as close to a motorcycle now that they need to become basically a street vehicle. Like they should have turn signals. Like these motherfuckers can go 20-30 miles an hour. And so they're zipping in the bike lane where people are walking. It's like,
that's dangerous.
You know, yeah, they should be in no car can go over 30 miles an hour in New York except for a couple of their highways.
Yeah, right. Again, in like a metro city. But, you know, it'll weed itself out. Something will happen, and you'll have to get a
People are getting
license or
hurt.
something.
People are getting hurt.
You have to get your electric bike license.
At least have turn signals on them or something because, you know, even at 20 miles an hour, you can really mess somebody up and yourself.
Yeah.
I told you my friend hit somebody on one of those bikes. But they didn't hit them hard, and the person actually was kind of like, oh, well, there's no damage anywhere, so I'm going to go.
Like hit them with, they hit them, their
She
car?
hit the bike with her car,
Oh.
but he was doing something like illegal. I think he was going in and out of traffic. He wanted to be in traffic and he wanted to be out of traffic. And so he actually like ended up running away pretty much because my friend was like, oh my God, are you okay?
Right.
That's because
And he was like, oh yeah, everything's fine, like left real quick. And actually my friend had a mark on her bumper, but also he was probably in the wrong there.
Yeah.
that was him being in the wrong.
I thought you meant your friend was on one of those bikes and hit like a pedestrian. That would have been a cool story.
Well, and it was, obviously the guy got right up, but that's what I'm talking. Yeah, because what they want to do is they want to be in traffic when it's convenient, but then they want to ride the bike lanes when it's convenient for them. Especially like shit in New York, dude. Like
You can't blame them.
those like Uber Eats drivers and shit. They make a lot of money on those
Yeah,
bikes
yeah,
because
yeah.
they're faster than any car.
Yeah, you get on the sidewalk, you can get between traffic, you can get right in the middle of the road.
Yeah,
So then it makes sense to do that kind of investment, I guess. But around here, like,
it's
unless you
and shit. There's some hills around here that would drain my battery immediately, and then I'd be like, I'm 3 miles from home.
yeah,
And
this is a steep hill kind of community.
Rachel, can you come pick me up?
Yeah. Speaking of this community, I was telling you, I think this might officially be the mecca for loud douchebag trucks, possibly in Pennsylvania, if not the country.
Now, I haven't been a lot of parts of the world, but the places I've been, yes, this is it.
Dudes just love those fucking
The
and women. I see women in them too.
The diesel stacks.
What's that?
That's like when it's a diesel truck and it's right behind the cabin of the truck and it's a straight stack and like just black smoke. It's a diesel.
Oh,
and
okay, yeah.
So they they call it like straight piping or straight stacking, and it's to be loud and to just emit black clouds.
Yeah. I don't
So like they'll like
understand.
kind of like go in neutral or I don't even know how they do it, and they're just like, look how big that black cloud is.
I just don't understand the impetus to want to have a louder vehicle than everybody else. What is that about a person?
I'd
love to interview one of these guys.
they're just gonna say it sounds good, doesn't it sound good? And it's like they're
Sounds good to who?
yeah. You like waking your neighbors up, dickhead?
Yeah.
And we lived across the street from them. Mm-hmm. All of them, they would get a car. The first thing they would do, like, I'm putting as loud as pipes on there as pop. It seriously is like, that's up there with grown up dudes, like full adults that still want to put subwoofers in that can shake the bumper off their car.
That's mostly a urban decision.
Well, there's still a lot of but that one at least you're listening to music, but you're not. You want to turn that up so you other people hear it.
Yeah, obviously.
Because motorcycles do it too. And the thing that's funny with you talk to motorcycles guys, they'll go. If you really try to like question them about it, they're gonna go, "It's actually for my safety." That's their defense. Like, because I want you to know that I'm coming because I'm not in a big car like you.
Because a motorcycle normally doesn't make noise.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing too. Because like I have a Ram 1500 truck, and it's got
But it's
dual team. But
reasonably volume.
if that was any louder, I would have not even wanted the truck.
That's what I'm
I was
saying.
like, that sounds good because it's like a smooth, and I like the look. I like the look of the pipes on it, to be honest. But if I started that truck up and it was louder, I'd be like, I live in a neighborhood, dude. I that's not cool.
It's not cool is an understatement. It's embarrassing. To me, that says so much about your personality. And let's be specific. I'm not talking about people that get an exhaust that just sounds different.
Yeah.
It's the ones that make your car way louder than any other car on the street.
Especially the dudes that like they'll get like a 95
Oh, dude, you see it on the stupidest shit.
F250, and then it's like they were like, how much you buy that truck for? It's the same price that they put into their exhaust.
Or like the Honda Civic group.
I always tell people about that. I call them Lego cars. Because Middletown, Levittown, like that was the kids that didn't play sports or do anything, and they were like, I like cars, and they got the Honda Civic, I think it was the VTEC, and if you, at one point, if it goes fast enough, it just goes, poof, and like, did you hear it? Did you hear it? And I'm like, your engine working? Yeah, dude. And then they put basically a coffee can as a fucking muffler to make it as loud as possible. It's like, dude. I call them Lego cars because it's like, they're like, dude, you should put a spoiler on it. It's like, so you glued a spoiler to your car?
Yeah, and they're not.
You're going so fast that spoiler, you need more traction.
And spoilers look good on some cars, but
not a Honda.
Yeah, that's the thing. And you're like you were saying, you're talking like a '94 Civic, not even. And it's just like, you guys need to go off in your own community and have loud cars.
And all they would do is just go to the Wendy's parking lot, rev their engines, get in a fight, or just get chased off by the cops.
The cops would come, right?
And it's like, that's your guy's hobby?
Especially if you're not badass and like racing. If you just are getting around a parking lot to eat nuggets and...
Dude, the worst... I don't even know if you probably didn't even notice this. You probably just look at it as another decal on a car. Because obviously they all have, Monster Energy drink or something. Dude, a lot of these cars, they will put their Twitter handle on there.
Wow.
So they think they're so cool. They're like, dude,
they're gonna follow me.
I gotta follow that guy on Twitter, dude. You see, he had a purple Civic. That's not even a factory color.
It probably works, dude.
For the idiots, yeah. All it does is it gets these idiots together to jerk off,
to talk about Civics.
Yeah, and listen, if you have like one of those, if you have like a badass slammed BMW or something, or there's some really, I don't know enough about cars, but there's some that I'm like, that thing looks awesome and unique and probably fast as shit. That's kind of cool.
As long as it's not loud as fuck for no reason. That's where I'm starting. I can't stand that, dude.
Especially where you are too.
You hear a lot of it, but like it's not loud enough where it's like, oh, I hate this fucking house, but it's obnoxious.
If you have a car or truck that I have to pause my TV while I'm inside because I can't hear it, I don't want you on the face of this earth.
For real. But it's not that bad.
Or if you're like out in public. Like if I'm on the phone at Target, I'm like, and then I have to go, hold on, Rachel, and wait 30 seconds for you to drive by.
Yeah. That's what they want, I think.
And South Park does a good ass episode about it.
I'm sure they do.
Where the guys, they're not to steal from South Park, but the motorcycle guys, they go into the cafe and they're like, why is anyone looking at us? This is so like, well, they don't know. So they just, everywhere they go, even when they're walking, they just make loud noises with their mouth. And like, look at us. God, dude, they're looking at us. I was all like, brap, brap. It's ridiculous. If you're not actually doing something cool, going to a racetrack or something, you're just a fool who's spending money on something. You probably need that money for something else. That's what I always said about the Levittown guys.
Almost certainly. Yeah, that money could be well spent.
You spend $1,500 in a car. And then it would be funny, too, the guys that would argue over being like, oh, you drive a automatic? Mine's a manual.
Yeah, it's not an inconvenience.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. That manual that manual that you've replaced the clutch on 12 times because you and all the owners of this dumbass car weren't good at driving it.
My girlfriend drives manual. She's probably a lesbian. That's good for you. So does your mom.
Yeah. Unless it's a legit thing, then shut up. And also, if that's your argument, older cars I get, but now newer cars,
you gotta pay more to get a manual.
You're not good enough of shifting to get the performance out of these new ass badass cars.
I don't get it. Everybody's just got to find ways to express themselves, and I guess loud cars is one way to do that. I don't know.
We are not like we've always said, dude. We would get into. We've talked about, like, should we get into Dungeons and Dragons? Like, we always say, dude, get a hobby. Everyone should have a hobby, no matter what it is.
I don't even have a problem with people starting clubs where they all like the same kind of car. It's just the loud vehicle is a fucking nuisance to other people. You can do whatever gay, corny thing I don't like in a group, but not if it affects other people. And these cars are way too loud.
You're
man.
just everywhere you go, there's a radius of people that hate you.
A lot.
Except
of
for the
people.
one that's like, I was the FMF 71200 on that. You hear it? You can hear the twing. And
Do you
there's
know anybody who has the loud car? Kretzler, does he have a loud car?
I don't know if it's loud.
Does he?
Is it he does for a while was doing the subwoofer subwoofers. But he's taking that down. I haven't seen him in a while. He actually has a nice looking truck that he
Can he get a Suboxone?
that he put a lift kit in, which I don't even hate,
I do.
Not the obnoxious ones, but like technically my truck, which I bought, it came with it. It's got like a 1/2-inch lift on it.
Your car looks normal.
Yeah, but no, his like because he has nice tires on it. I don't know. Is his exhaust loud? I forget. It's been a while.
I just feel like
He would have
the
it.
truck itself attracts a lot of attention. So in my head, it's loud, but it might not be.
I don't think not what we're talking about. If it was that, I
If
would've
any of your
remembered
friends
that.
would have it, that's who I would have guessed. That's why I asked.
But now
Oh, by the way,
now he just is he's a bicycler.
a bicycler.
I love it. You're looking great, buddy. If you're listening, you're fucking in shape. Good for you. I once again, it's a hobby and doing well for him. Like he does fun competitions and stuff. But it is funny because he gets a little mad when I go, "You riding your bicycle a lot?"
Yeah, you can't take yourself too seriously in this world.
No.
You just can't, because all it does is make you like butthurt.
Yeah,
It's not affecting anybody but yourself when you take yourself really seriously.
Which the reason I kind of brought that up to circle back to bikes. Also, if you are I don't care how in shape you are, how nice of a bike you are, you can't keep up with the car. So fucking get out of the car lane.
On a bicycle?
Yeah, dude. And now the only time I see it around here, you'll see it in cities sometimes, but around here in North Park. Now that is I think it's.
We talked about that on episode 1.
Yeah,
it's a whole big
but
park.
they have a bike lane. The main
How can
sector.
you use it when there's always people walking in it?
But so then they get and like they stop at red lights and shit, and it's like we're already going. And then once you get past, it's a thing. Trust me, you'll notice it now. Like you're not a car. I know you're in really good shape and can make that bike go fast, but the shittiest car in the world, you're slowing down.
So they will actually stay in the lane enough to make the car behind them have to slow down and stay behind them?
Yeah, because technically there's no rule. Because
Dude,
on roads that
that's
don't have
fucking-
bike lanes,
That's as bad as loud trucks.
they are like considered
There's
part of
cops
that.
there all the time. You'd think cops would be like, get off,
Nah, because it's not
get
against
in the bike
the law.
lane. That's why. You're just annoying. People are so fucking
Yeah.
annoying.
And also, once again, at that park, dude, there's hundreds of trails. These are just people that are in. These are the peacocks of bicyclers, because
I
they're.
don't fully agree with that though, because I would bike on a road, but I would be scared to bike on a trail.
Well, no, he
No,
means
I'm not
like
saying trails.
He means like
Asphalt.
surfaced. Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah,
You
not
know
like
North
in the
Park.
woods.
Yeah,
North,
gotcha.
and there's tons of them. I mean, there's spurts of. The one is 18 miles, and it's nice. It's scenic. It's all asphalt, a little bit of incline, some decline. Like it would be perfect for that. I would think.
And plus, why would you choose the actual road? It's way more dangerous.
Because they want to show, look, I have the spandex, I have the fancy
Yes.
shoes, I spent $17,000 on this bike.
It's
Like,
not surprising. I think at least probably more than 50% of people who are into fitness just want a peacock.
And you know what?
It is a perk of getting fit, but there's a certain level of it that is subtle and okay. And then it's if you're
Let's just-
holding up traffic, so I have to drive behind you on your slow bike.
We've
too
already
far.
talked about how slow that road is.
It's
To
annoying.
be even slower, and I get it, it's for public safety because a lot of people walk there, and it's a nice park. I want them to keep it there because it is nice having
No,
North Park around
Yeah,
it.
use the park though, not the fucking road. It's a whole big spread. Anybody who's not familiar with North Park, I've never even been into the inner workings of it, but I know it's a big, beautiful, sprawling. How many square miles do you think it is? 10?
More than that. It's massive. It's got everything. It's got public pools, outdoor ice
Everything.
skating, that rock climbing, Go Ape stuff. It's huge. It has everything.
What's Go Ape stuff?
It's like adult jungle gym. Like,
Parkour.
no, like it's there's some like you kind of will climb up it like you're harnessed in and like you'll like kind of climb up a tree and then like walk on like a tightrope with like assisting. There's some short what do they call that? What the fuck? Rachel, what's the word?
Zip line?
Zip lining and stuff.
You have to pay.
I believe so.
Yeah, you pay for like a session.
Because you have to wear like a harness and stuff. But it looks fun.
It's a nice park. You can play all you want. You can do anything you want.
They stock the pond there. You can rent kayaks. It's a great place. So that's why I don't want to see it ruined by douchebags.
Yeah. I think I want to this spring. I think I want to get into fishing a little bit because there's a lot of good fishing around here.
Around here, yeah. What they were, Woody and Dom were really into fishing. I think they were getting into some. I've always wanted to try fly fishing, but like you have to learn how to do that. Because I mean, just normal fishing.
You always have to go all the way.
No.
Why not just fish?
I was going to say I would.
You wanna come
I'm not just
fishing
going to
with me?
start fly fishing. I don't know anything about it, but I've always wanted to do the fishing, even if it isn't
You
fly
want to
fishing.
stand in the brooks.
It
and
just
shit.
seems so peaceful and cool, dude.
It does. It definitely does.
Like
looks
it
very-
adds a fucking like I'm more man, and who knows? I might be scared because if a fish swims next, I'm like.
Well, you wear waders and you get to have a little wicker basket on your hip to put the fish in. I mean, you can go balls out with gear when it comes to
See, but that's
fishing. Period.
I know we say I like gear, but that's one of you know what I would like to do is make my own reels. That looks like
you mean lures?
lures, yeah. That looks like peaceful and fun and creative, and then you get to use it to see if it's any good.
Yeah,
Like that almost
yeah.
has like
And it's not an expensive hobby, I'm sure.
yeah. I think like you just get it's like a little rig that holds the
All you need
thing.
is a little vice grip. or
Yeah,
something.
and I think maybe you get a microscope because it is
Well, yeah.
that that thing, and then it's just different strings
Yeah,
and
shit.
hooks and
If you
stuff.
get good at it, you could sell them. Yeah, you know, there's guys that are into fishing enough where they're like, I only use custom hooks
I'm sure.
or custom lures. But do you want to go fishing this spring?
I'll go fishing. Yeah, I mean, and because too, like it is funny. It is something that can cost you. What's a license? $15-20?
I don't know now. If you said it was $180, I'd be like, okay, sounds about right.
But yeah, I mean, you can take $30 and catch some fish.
Yeah, it's a
Get
shame
your
either
life-
of us are going to eat the fish.
Well, most places we would go. Well, I don't know because there are probably some like nice streams and stuff. But the places we're gonna go are probably just catch and release,
Okay.
which is what
Okay.
we would do anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, like, sometimes you can go, like, night fishing.
Yeah,
It's just an excuse to get outside, especially in the summer when you don't want to be outside during the day.
mm-hmm.
And then the slow movement of the water. Rachel, you want to go fishing?
Sure.
Rachel would fish. We would just have to. We'll just have to have her use fake bait. Because would you put a worm on a hook?
I have before.
That's
Okay.
not an answer.
Yeah, I would.
What about a little sardine? Or minnow, rather. A little fishy
As a bait?
as bait.
Mm-hmm.
No,
And you
I
have to
will
keep
not.
it-
I will not touch a fish.
Well, that's. I'll be honest.
Latex gloves.
I'm not too much of a man to admit. I will have to go to get ready to touch the fish to take it off the hook.
I'm with you when it comes to sunnies. Because those
Yeah, I
fucking
guess I've never-
spines, but like
Yeah.
a trout or something.
Like, would you not be afraid to stick your thumb in the bass mouth? I know they don't have any teeth, but like I've never caught a bass, so I don't know if I'm afraid of it or not.
No, they don't have teeth.
No, I know, but like you know when you
But what
hold
you
them,
usually do, unless you hook them perfectly, use like a needle nose pliers. And sometimes they swallow it, and then the fish is
it's
probably
all
gonna die.
fucked up. Yeah, but I think that's why they stock with bass because they are good at like they have the big mouth of getting
Bass
hooked.
fishing's the best because they fight. I mean, like you catch like even like a big like crappie like a junk fish, even if they're big, they're just like, I mean, unless they're big. But who knows? We got to go fishing, dude.
Yeah, I've always said, and
Get
I've
with
only,
us. Tell us where we should go fishing around Pittsburgh.
I guarantee you. I know Woody would know. Dom probably knows. Will probably knows too. There's probably some spots around here that
That's why I want to do it, because I know that this
Shit,
is
I know of a spot just from landscaping around here.
But I like to go like to a stream or a river.
Yeah, I don't. Once again,
Lake fishing is like,
I'll go lake fishing if I'm not next to 40 people.
that's what I mean. Like a park
Yeah.
lake or something. But there's there's probably so many different fishing holes around here that you could probably go on like forums or something.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like Bass Men of Allegheny County.
And you know
We're
what? When
starting
you
on that
fish in
forum.
those lakes, I imagine you don't get a lot of our growing up fishing. It would be Dad, and it would be him trying to do something with us, and then we go to Ben Salem or something, and all we do is catch eels the whole time or
Yeah.
sunnies. Like
Shot out Delaware River.
dude.
But he would take us like at night and shit. Remember, I know you remember, when he caught an eel and we had the lantern that was like
an
a
actual
real lantern.
gas-powered lantern.
Yeah, with glass, not plastic. And he fucking hit the eel on purpose, like pressed it up, like hanging from the hook, because he's not touching it. Eels are gross. And pressed it against the lantern, and the smell was so awful. That lantern smelled like that for the entirety of its existence.
Dude, we put it in the shed out back. That is a standing shed, normal size shed. Dude, for like the whole summer until it got cold again, when you walked around the shed, you could smell something.
Yeah. It didn't have to be lit for you to smell that.
Now, probably that lantern was never used again.
And people love eating.
I don't think
eel.
anyone eats that eel though. That
It's
is
good
like
bait. I know that much.
that is like
It's a stank, bro.
yeah, that's water you don't even want to swim in.
Yeah. No.
We would take
it
our boat-
depends on what part of the Delaware, but where we were
Where we
at,
were fishing, that was the docks. So like this is oil-ridden fucking trash. Like the bottom of, if you were to walk in there, you would step on as many shards of glass and beer cans as you would rocks.
Yeah, you definitely wanted to have shoes on.
Yeah, that's a place. If you get a cut, you gotta go to the hospital. I don't care where the cut came from.
Yeah, you're going to get a shot or two. But even where we grew up, the Neshaminy,
The falls we
the
go
creek,
to,
the falls were legit.
but all you'd catch was sunnies.
Now,
and
there
you
was
catch
some rock bass in there.
I never caught. You would catch a fish when you went there. Not, for me, 100% of the time, it was sunnies, and I think they just. Honestly, I think the sunnies were just like, I get fed here. Like they were like, I get caught and then thrown. I eat
For real. Yeah,
and then
yeah.
get thrown back.
Yeah, that was a great spot, though. I mean, you just had to avoid, like you said, the broken glass and
Oh
beer
yeah,
cans and
hobos.
shit.
Yeah, there
But that
definitely was
was a
hobo
pot-
fucking going back in there sometimes.
Well, yeah, but
But also, it was
that was a popular spot. Like there'd be times where you'd be like, God damn it, all the good spots are taken.
because there was two spots that you
do it into the
can
pool?
cross the water, and I've crossed in the Chamonix Creek different spots. You would just be covered in leeches, which I was.
Leeches are slow moving water, but yeah, parts of the Chamonix at the falls,
Yeah, it had two sides.
Man,
Remember the one side was steep as shit. You basically just had to fall down.
that was where you would have to go if all the other good spots
Yeah.
were taken. Yeah, shot out in the Chamonix Creek.
And then every once in a while, I remember, dude, for like the one summer we went there, or with, I don't know who I was with or whatever, but at one point we were there and there was this group of like 4 dudes, and they took like one of those wooden park benches.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's got a table that's attached to the seats, and then they took 4, I want to say, of those blue.
I know they made a pontoon boat out
They
of
made
it.
a pontoon boat out of it,
Yeah, that's a good
and
idea.
it's funny because they
So
got
they
on
would
it.
put them under the tabletop, and then the
Yeah, so they
bench
could
part.
basically kind of sit with their feet in the water and float, and they got for a while, but then like, I don't know if the lake was low, they all fell off, and then just left it there, and for a whole summer this thing just kind of hung out there, like it became a piece of garbage just in this water.
Yeah.
Because it would, that where it was, that water would drop significantly. Just a little bit of rain would raise it all the way up, and so like
yeah, there was times where it was like half what was usually the river bed was just dry, which gave you a good opportunity to get all the old fishing tackle out of there before it
get all the
filled up again.
rusties out of there.
Yeah.
That and actually, like, because it's funny looking at where it is, and these people, unless you're from there, don't know. Like, it's close enough to the city. You're like, it's crazy. People go fishing there a little bit, but also far enough away where, like, dude, you'll every once in a while would see a big ass snake.
Yeah, or a gigantic catfish on certain parts of it.
Have you ever caught like a decent fish out of there?
I've never caught a catfish, but I've caught in like a rock bass that was like this big. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I've only ever fucking.
I used to go there a lot too.
Yeah.
Me and Frankie and them boys, we used to go like 3.
Yeah, because you were a Humeville kid for a while.
Yeah.
Because I became a Langhorne kid.
And it was somewhere we could take our bikes because you can
ride
a bike with a fishing rod and shit. Yeah, I was more of a country boy than you were.
Okay. How many quads have you ridden?
That's not country boy shit. Real country boys can't afford a quad, dude.
They can afford one, but it don't work that great.
Yeah.
Dude, I went to the mountains, dude. You didn't like the mountains. I'd ride quads on.
Well, that's because I had discovered computer games then.
Well, kids trying to claim more country than me.
I'm saying when I was a little kid, I used to go out in the woods, shoot birds with my BB gun. Okay.
I would go in those woods with you.
I used to dig holes.
Bro, I dug a fort back in there one time.
You dug a fort?
Yeah, dude. Dad told me this one time when he was younger that him and his buddies dug like a 6-foot hole by like 4x4, put a tarp over it, and like they would hang out there. So I was like, that's sweet. And dude, Johnny French's kid.
The oldest one?
No, the younger one. That was like Dylan.
Crazy family.
For a quick second, I don't know why.
That's Dad's side of the
they
family.
I was hanging out with him, and he was wild, and I got this idea. And I was like, yeah. And so we went and dug, but we dug like a 2-foot hole and had a tarp and basically just laid and put the tarp over top of us. And I was like, dude, we got a fort.
I mean, technically it is a fort. Remember that kid like, just started like jaying off, like fully exposed in front of us?
No, you told me about that because like you and Brian were kind of the same age.
Yeah, he was a little older.
It was at their house, right?
Yeah, shit was weird, man.
Yeah, because I remember real quick, like I hung out with him a couple times, and one of the few times I hung out with him, Dad hit a dude with his car door.
On purpose?
Yeah, we were right in front of the Burger King. I think Dad like stopped too quick, and the guy got out of his car and got up on Dad, and Dad just went pop, and the dude held his mouth, and Dad just took off. But yeah, I hung out with him like a couple times, and Mom was like, we don't hang out with him anymore.
Yeah, they're garbage people, and not in the like cool kind of fun way.
No, the dad was a complete degenerate.
Trash.
It's a shame because actually the mom was like a very nice person who passed.
Yeah.
I hope those kids are doing well. Who knows?
Cindy or some shit?
No, Vanessa?
No.
Wasn't Renee.
Cindy.
I don't know.
I think it was Cindy.
I don't know. It's a shame because the mom would have been the one who would have remembered.
Yeah.
But yeah, she like passed away because like just no one was helping her with a very easy thing.
They were into the pills and which is everybody's into these days. So, but you know, sometimes you die.
Do you? Hope those kids are doing all right because they did have a rough upbringing.
Yeah, I remember.
Although one time they had a ballin' ass Halloween party. They must have offloaded something. Yeah, and that was the only time I've ever bobbed for apples.
Where was it?
At their house in over by where Nick lives now, over in like Indian Creek or whatever that area is called. Because they had one of those Levittown houses that had the roof that extends from the house over the driveway.
Right.
And like, dude, they like set up like they had like smoke machines and lights and shit going off, and because they did like a costume party. So like, I think mom might have been into it.
Johnny French.
Yeah.
No, I've never been there.
And once again, they just must have.
I didn't even know they ever had a house. To be honest,
I'll tell you. You know, it's weird. You unlock memories when you start talking about like things like that. Or one time I was over there with Dad, because Mom probably did not know about it, and the older brother was like showing off to me, and his friend was there, and the younger brother. He had a gas mask that hooked up to a bong, and he was like, "This is the coolest shit ever."
Yeah.
And I was like, I didn't even understand about the weed part. I was young enough. I was like, "Can I try on that mask?" Because I was like, "Dude, that's what they wear in like airplanes, right?" And then going out, and Johnny French took a stick of deodorant, sitting at the table, does it under his arms, under the t-shirt, and then takes a stick of deodorant and just rubs it around his junk.
The dad?
The dad, yeah.
Wow.
So he was like, I ain't showering
like in front
today.
of Dad and shit?
They're sitting at the table, like having a conversation. It would be like me being like...
Well, that's a wild boy.
And then just... Because I remember walking out and being like, I don't think deodorant should go down there, dude.
No.
Yeah, as a wild boy.
Yeah. The oldest son, John, he fucking stole my Puff Daddy CD.
What?
That pussy. Remember the one when Biggie died and he did that Sting song? Every step you take.
Yeah.
That was really good.
That was a great song.
Hell yeah. His version. The other one's good too, but Puff Daddy fucking killed that song.
And dude, I remember the first time I seen that
live
on MTV. Dude,
Yeah.
I didn't even know Puff Daddy. Like, I didn't know anything, but I was like, I cried. I was like, this is so sad.
Yeah, it was a great song. And remember we drove to Florida?
I didn't do that drive to Florida with you
allowed.
guys.
Yeah.
Mom probably was like, no, he's not going.
Yeah, and the whole time I was listening to my Puff Daddy CD. You know how CDs are over and over and over again. And that pussy stole it. There's no one else who could have stolen it.
Yeah.
We were all in the van together.
Hey, that kid was jealous the whole time you had that CD.
He was. As he should have been. Pussy, get your own Puff Daddy CD.
You know, it's funny talking about the CD days at the old house. Just like I would sit in a corner quiet when your friends were over, so I didn't get, just to be able to be around you guys. I was like, this is awesome. And the new Sublime, the one with the clown,
Yeah, the self-titled album, yeah.
Drinking the beer and stuff. That artwork was really cool.
Yeah, man.
By the way,
That's even CDs, like, even the fold, like the booklet inside would usually have some cool shit.
have lyrics on them.
That's gone now, yeah.
And the actual CD had cool artwork on it.
Yes.
But it's funny. I'll hear a Sublime song now, and I'll immediately
Go back.
No, I'll immediately be like, the next song should be this. It's ingrained in me because you guys
Just
listen to that
it
song just on
constantly.
repeat.
Especially
So-
that album.
So like, yeah, I'll hear, Santeria, and then I'll be like, waiting, like I'll have it on my playlist, and I'll be like,
No, I know
this
exactly
isn't
what
supposed
you
to be the
mean.
next song. The next song's supposed to be like by Chris, whatever
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah. That's funny. Yeah, I noticed that shit too. There's there's probably about like 30 albums where I've listened to them enough where like, yeah, I remember the track order.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
And then we hear it differently on the radio. I'm like, wait, no, this isn't the next song. You guys are ruining it.
Yeah, great album, great band.
CDs were a good time.
Well, yeah.
It's funny that we were kind of touched on it the other episode talking about I remember at one point, I'm old enough now to look back and be like, now even the shittiest of cars that are 2014 and newer have Bluetooth in there. For a period there, it was like, this car has a 6 CD changer in there.
Oh my God, that was
Dude, I'm living. If you've seen a family that had a 6 CD changer car,
Yeah.
and some of them, like the nicer ones, the 6 CD changer was like in the trunk of the car. On like, dude, I remember one of the Cadillacs or like BMWs,
Why would it be in the trunk? That's just inconvenient.
or like, in like the back. Yeah, it was. Yeah,
That just doesn't make sense.
no,
okay.
but no, that like I remember that being a thing. Be like, damn, they must be doing good.
They must know someone at the dealership.
Shitty.
That was like that was a small period of time where cars would have, I mean, the CD player, tons of cars had for decades. But the multi-CD changer, that was probably like a 7-year span where cars, because auxiliary cords and shit.
Yeah.
Once like iPods became a thing, like the big John, and like iTunes or MP3s.
Yeah, just when the MP3 players. That's another funny time too. Of
Nobody wanted a multi-disc changer anymore.
when the MP3 players came out and the battle that happened, there was like obviously It's funny every time I forget it originally was the What the I can't. It's not an iPhone. What the fuck was the original
iPod?
iPod?
I just said it like 4 times.
I know. That's just crazy. There's no such thing as an iPod in my brain anymore. But there was that battle, and then there was like the Zune.
Oh yeah, the Microsoft one.
Like, so the big companies were battling, and my first one, we might have talked about this, but my first one, and I was excited to get it. I don't even know the name of it, and I had it for like 3 years.
I think it was a Zune.
It was, but it wasn't like because I remember Scott Russell got like the cool ass Zune, and mine was like such a simple interface. But I just remember being like, dude, I can put 300 songs on here. I'm gonna be and a lot of it was just like Jimmy Eats World.
And then, but you couldn't put MP3s on it. It was like different file formats.
Yeah,
That's what sucked about it. So you could burn or download all these songs on like LimeWire, but they weren't the right file format. So
and then shit, there was a small time there that there was companies that were like successful because they were converters. Like it was like a program you would download to take the LimeWire song and convert it into an MP3.
And
It was MP2s, I think, was the
you
one.
would get fucking, like some kind of worm on your computer every time you download
a Trojan that was like, throw the computer out.
Remember Napster?
Yeah.
That was the original company that
That was a little bit before my time.
But that was the company that started like the downloading illegal music and advertising the service as such. So they became like the poster child of you could go to the site and download whatever you want.
And I think it was like under the guise of Geist or whatever that word is. Guise of like, well, no, someone purchased this CD and uploaded and they're just sharing it. So they were getting away. They were like, we're not doing anything illegal here. Well, someone did purchase
that's
this
what it
CD.
was.
Yeah. And then
it was like intellectual property battles. And then Metallica had a fucking shit fit because Ticketmaster, all this crazy shit happened back in the day.
It's crazy. Ticketmaster still is getting shit fucked up. That whole Taylor Swift thing. We talked about that last episode, I think, too.
Maybe.
Did you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Dude, so it was the most recent tour she went on or whatever. And I don't know how it worked, but it was one that, like, I think she did pre-sales of tickets, and then it went out, and then so all these bots bought up computers to
resell
them. But there was people waiting in line for like 12 hours, and then like their computer would crash, and they'd be in the back line, and there's tons of
oh my god, people
these videos, dude. It makes you feel good because this person, they think they're talking to Taylor Swift. They're like, Taylor, I waited for 18 hours. My computer died, and it's like they waited and
like TikTok videos and shit.
Yeah, but then at one point, like these tickets were selling on Ticketmaster because of the way it works. I'm not sure, but they were like $12,000.
You sure it wasn't one of those sites where it's second party selling?
No, well that
how could
ended
they end
up
up
being
Ticketmaster selling
because
That it was saying that they like broke Ticketmaster because it was so many people were on it, so it surged the demand up.
Yeah, Ticketmaster I guess has just a ongoing like algorithm, word you want to call it. So they go, we have 70,000 people trying to buy 12,000 tickets. So Ticketmaster just immediately supply and demand.
That's legal?
Well, this was a very specific case. It was, I don't know if just because Taylor hasn't performed in so long, but yeah, they basically said it broke Ticketmaster's thing because
wow.
And so people were waiting in line.
We definitely didn't talk about that on the pod.
Yeah, I might have just mentioned, but yeah, so fucking people who love. It's funny too that people that love Taylor Swift, like grown ass dudes out there, were really upset, and there are some grown ass dudes out there that bought $17,000 tickets and shit.
Yeah, that's a $17,000.
Rachel, look.
That's got to be an exaggeration.
Can you look that up of some of the? I might be exaggerating, but
even
not
if it's
crazy.
$5,000 a ticket,
Yeah.
like I remember I had a few guys my age that I knew that were really into Bieber when he put out his new album. Like they would.
Are these guys that I know?
No.
Okay, I was gonna.
This is just a quick headline, but when many Swifties went in to buy tickets, they found the cheapest ones were $12,000, with some going as high as $22,000.
Oh my God.
That's Super Bowl prices, I think.
Super Bowl tickets aren't $22,000.
Some of them are.
No way.
Rachel, can you look up Super Bowl tickets? Because I'm pretty sure that's not even close.
They're not.
I bet you there's before this.
Love football.
I bet there's tickets that are over $50,000 for a Super Bowl.
They're not worth it. That's crazy.
No, it's not worth it.
Who the fuck? I don't care how hot she is, dude. If you have to buy a Super Bowl ticket to impress her, she ain't worth it.
And it's funny, like me and you, we have not many passions. Do you have it, Rachel?
Yeah, so cheapest tickets will run fans more than $6,600, while the most expensive seats are going close to $75,000 for a ticket. A pair of tickets will be at least $100,000.
Told you.
Man, this motherfucker's way too much money out there.
There's people that have too much money, dude. It's literally
that just put me in a bad mood. I'm in a bad. You know how I get. I'm in a bad mood now.
It's the same thing as
they need to spend it on something.
Not even need it. I think you get to a certain point where like you just have to keep spending money to just appear that you are that rich.
To appear that you're different than other people, you have to just buy
like the $500,000 Rolex. all you're doing is come rob me, or I'm going to be really upset if I walk into a wall a certain way.
You're right. Damn.
And there's people that are like
$100,000 for 2 Super Bowl tickets. I feel like an idiot not realizing that a Super Bowl ticket would be that much money. I really would have thought like $20,000 would be the most you could spend.
And this one too, it might be because last year was in L.A., so this might have really tweaked it up. But the way I guess and I know only a little bit about it, but even the secondary markets, like until it's like 2 hours before that game or event's going to happen, it literally is like you can check the supply and demand of how many people are trying to buy tickets versus how many tickets there are. So like even the dudes who hustle, out front of the stadiums, like that early morning, they're walking through tailgates going $400 tickets, $400, and then if you just wait an hour before that thing and be like, I'll give you 40 for it, and they'll go, yeah, I don't want to have an empty-handed ticket.
Otherwise it's useless. Huh.
And so it seems like Ticketmaster does that too.
Like, ticket scalping was like,
I'll tell you what, it's still really big here around Pittsburgh. Every time I go to an event,
I'm talking about like before the internet was like.
Yeah.
Pete guys would go to the box office at a big game early and buy a bunch of tickets. I thought that was so cool. Like I go to.
That's a real hustle, dude. If you're just like some dude who lives kind of near the stadium, and you're like, yeah, tomorrow I wake up and camp out there for 2 days, and I have $7,000. I'm going to buy $7,000 worth of tickets and turn this into $15,000.
Yeah, and then people would go down to the stadiums in South Philly without tickets, knowing that there would be multiple ticket scalpers, and he's got to get the best deal.
Yeah, well, it's around here from what I've experienced. Like, it was I think Beer Fest that we didn't have tickets.
Scalping tickets to a beer fest, huh?
The Beer Fest round, it's pretty legit.
Well, yeah,
it's cool. And it's not just testing beers. Like they got the silent disco and like fun games, virtual reality shit going on.
Yeah,
too.
I'm assuming it's not just.
But yeah, so we didn't buy tickets, and we were like, we probably can go find some. We went down there with some cash, found the guy, and fucking ended up spending not even half of what the original ticket price was.
Because he needed to get rid of them. Yeah.
Yeah, we just drove down there, and it was a $10 Uber, $15 Uber, and we're like, worst comes to worst, we'll just hang out and go to the local bar or something.
I'd like to guess how much a Beer Fest ticket is, but since I was so bad at the Super Bowl ticket price...
Well, this will be a fun game. So I'll let you know this. There's usually over 150... No. I forget. There's definitely over 150 beers. There might be over 150... No, that doesn't sound right. It's definitely like a couple hundred different beers. All right, and there's two... And so, once again, they have, like, I told you that band story I had where I ended up kind of partying with the band because the guy threw the beer. They're really good. So, one of the best cover bands there are, playing the whole time. Bunch of events. There's 2 ticket prices. One is the premium. You get early access and a little bit of a bigger of a cup. And then the one is normal entrance with a smaller cup. And it's unlimited.
Of course, yeah.
As much... the lines are the only
remember when
thing.
the Impractical Jokers had to go to that whiskey event and cut people off? That was like the most scared they were, was taking their cups and throwing them away.
The hardest part about them is having to find bathroom space. Really is that
especially
that's
beer.
Yeah. So with knowing that there's a summer and a winter, how much do you think the normal ticket cost?
Can I give you an answer after smoke?
Yeah, we'll do the smoke because Rachel, you have to look it up. I forget.
I was gonna say you.
Would you go to if they had a nicotine?
No.
There's no what type of convention would you want to go to? Would you go to? Because you already told me like you would not want to go to Comic-Con.
Fuck no.
You don't want to see ladyboys dressed up in hot Sailor Moon outfits?
I have to. Well, now you say that. No, I have to specify. If a friend of mine, or like if you had a ticket, I would definitely go with you. But I'm not buying a ticket to go to Comic-Con.
Rachel, can you look up Beer Fest tickets?
Let me think about what kind of convention I would go to.
And look up Comic-Con and see if there is one. They probably have a small type of one that happens in Pittsburgh, but also the big one. So that we had a little smoke break to think about it.
Which we just talked, and I didn't think about it
Yeah,
at
we
all.
talked about EverQuest. That's a lot of our conversations. Maybe we'll talk about the end of the game.
I wish we had more people watching eventually. But that could be like, oh, man, I played EverQuest. Do you remember this fucking server? And
I told you that one time early on owning the store. He ended up being, it was a black woman who was super cool. And then the guy was like a pastor, and he knew what EverQuest was.
Yeah,
And I was like, dude, you're like one of the first people. Because I'll say EverQuest a lot of times.
It's too old.
And, well, anyone who is a gamer, sometimes they have the pride to go, oh yeah, EverQuest. They don't know what it was. And I'd be like, you play RuneScape? Like, yeah, I played RuneScape. I was like, well,
this is way better. Bro.
EverQuest was the 17 steps up from that, which they just had a video. I guess like the original or all of the first RuneScape, they ended the server. So, dude, there was like thousands of people that hopped on. It was like the end of the new year where they were on there, and the chat was just like, I'll miss you guys. I had so much fun. I've been playing for 28 years.
Yeah, man. That
All
shit
this
was around a long time.
But so back to, we'll
Ticket
start
prices.
with Beer Fest in Pittsburgh here. What you think a ticket would cost? I gave you the kind of the gist of what it is.
Give me a before I make my guess. Give me a ballpark of how many tickets were available.
So it's usually, is it 2 weekends, Rachel?
Well, no, just in a day.
Yeah, it's 2 weekends, and it's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
I would say
Was it 10,000 people?
No. Less than 1,000 per
day.
Yeah, per event status thing, or per event basically.
Per day or per event?
Well, no, because I don't. Do they do an early one? I think they might do like an early morning one and then an afternoon one.
There's 2 in a day. There's like
And there would be about 1,000 people for each one.
Somewhere about there. We always went to the later one because I'm not going to.
Which would be okay. Let me guess. $130.
And that's for the normal ticket. Rachel?
am I guessing? Or am I
No,
getting
no,
the
you-
answers?
you were supposed to look it up.
Okay, yeah.
You can't guess if you
So,
know the answer.
So there's a couple levels. So a standard ticket is $50. Or you
Really?
can get a connoisseur. So the standard ticket comes with a little cup.
Yes.
And then you go to every table, they fill your little cup. So for $80, you could get a connoisseur ticket, and you get a bigger cup. I think you get that actually the little fancy glass one that you like hold like a fancy person.
Like a wine, like a
Like
lip
a-
sifter.
Yeah. So the connoisseur gets that, and then there's also a designated driver ticket for $25.
It's good they do that.
Good for anybody who goes to a beer festival as the DZ.
Yeah, for real.
There's nothing.
I thought they were more, but you know what? I'm thinking your mom used to buy those for presents, and she would buy 2 of them. So when he said
And
100,
we got early admission when we would go.
but for 2 tickets, it would probably was around 150-ish bucks.
She thought I nailed it.
Probably.
I thought
yeah.
you nailed it.
So I overpriced the beer fest and way underpriced the Super Bowl.
Way
Okay.
underpriced the Super Bowl. Yeah.
All right, now for a Comic-Con.
Now, Rachel, were you able to? Is there a Pittsburgh Comic Con at all?
So I looked up Steel City Con, which is Pittsburgh's, and then I looked up LA Comic Con.
So if I remember this, Steel City Comic Con is a lot more comic book based, if I remember correctly. 'Cause remember the one vendor we worked with would go there?
Yeah.
So it's not as...
What else
But
would-
people still dress up and do all those.
What
Yeah, but
else
no-
would a Comic-Con be but comic
Yeah,
book?
No,
based?
well, but like the LA one, I don't know. Never been. But like when you see pictures of the LA one, it's a lot of Star Wars based things, new movies, Marvel based things.
I think
Oh,
all of
no,
them.
I
that's
think
the
it's
same.
the same. I
So-
mean,
Okay.
comic book vendors go, but
Well, a lot of that stuff is based
Marvel
off.
movies, all that shit. People
Yeah.
dress up as Han Solo.
Well, and like
and-
the LA one, like they get like they get dudes of the Game of Thrones people will be there, and you can sit.
Oh yeah, okay.
and
The
ask them
LA one's
questions.
probably.
Yeah.
But
so let's start with the Pittsburgh one. I know nothing about
I'm
it.
not even gonna guess the LA one because I have no idea. Unless I nail
Well,
this one.
I know neither of them. So you have prices for both.
yes.
So I'm gonna guess the Pittsburgh one. I don't know the levels of them. $50 for just the normal kind of the normal one.
General admission.
Yeah, general admission.
50. Okay. I was gonna say 65.
It can't be over 100.
No.
I mean-
Maybe if you buy them through someone, if they're sold out. But I imagine there's a ton of tickets available.
Well, and
'Cause
Pittsburgh has the convention center, and it is fucking huge. Like
That's
when
what
they
I'm
do
saying.
the beer fest, I don't even like. I think it's only half of the convention center.
Yeah, it's big. So
So for one day, it's $25. For 3 days, all 3 days, it's $50.
I
And
forgot.
of course, there's like autograph passes.
Yeah,
Those are
that's
like
where-
100.
why would
and
you ever want to go for
200, 400.
3 days in a row?
Because probably like the one day there's the Spider-Man booth.
Okay, yeah.
You know,
or
or
different
like
celebrities
only,
or whatever.
only J.K. Rowling's only there on Saturday for 2 hours, and you got to
She
buy.
ain't coming to Pittsburgh.
No,
But yeah,
you know
no,
what
I
mean.
hear you. Okay.
I'm gonna guess for the L.A. one, just seeing videos of it, and I don't. If it's the same way, if it's per day, I'm gonna say the all day with no signature passes. I'm gonna say $1,000.
I was gonna say like 100 for one day.
Just the way that the amount of money I've seen people build a suit for to like be like the guy from
Like
anything.
Bane or something.
Yeah, like the amount of money I've seen them put in. Or the big one is the Halo guy, Chief or whatever,
The Master
Chief or whatever. Like I've seen dudes like take 3 years to build this thing that has actual helmet that lifts up and all this stuff.
There's no way it's $1,000.
I'm saying for the all day pass, and this is LA, so who knows, Rachel?
Single day general admission pass is $35.
I'm way off.
Way off.
3 day, $95.
Because I mean, yeah, some people are balls deep in their costumes and how much prep they put into it. But like I said, like you can sell a shitload of tickets to a convention because it's not even seating.
Well, and even so, they have a VIP 3 day pass. That's $275, and that gives you entry lanes to certain VIP lounges.
Yeah, you can like skip the lines.
Do
and
they have-
early access to the show floor. And then they have a VVIP pass that lets you do more. You get a jacket,
What's
you get
the most
drinks, and that's $495.
Is that the most expensive?
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, there you go.
I'll tell you what though, I've seen, and good for them, dude. Some of these girls,
They're hot.
and some of them
There's
aren't
some
even women.
smoke shows.
Some of them aren't women,
That's
but
okay.
they will be in a booth, and dude, they get paid crazy money to dress up as a video game
Harley
character.
Quinn or something.
Yeah, that or Overwatch is a big one. There's a couple girls that are.
Okay.
I'm not into. Never have. I don't get it. But if I were ever to, anime porn, some of those girls from that video game are pretty hot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or yeah, like what was the one I said earlier? Regardless, some of those girls make a shit ton of money just by being good at dress up, and they go there for the 2 weeks, and they're like, "Yeah, I basically just paid my mortgage, and then I just work at Starbucks because I'm a hot Asian girl."
Good for her.
Not good for her, because all these dorks would be like, "I'll give you $100 if you sign this jacket for me."
Yeah, you see a lot of guys that are far up on the spectrum and/or definitely have some kind of syndrome, and they like. It's almost like, thank God there are these Comic-Cons and shit for these guys.
And you know what? The one thing when she was reading ticket prices, I go, even if I wanted to go, the price point I could afford. But then I go, dude, just the videos you see, like, it's just swarms of people on sidewalks just trying to even get in. So there's a whole nother price of, I just got to stand around a bunch of people.
Right. That's why I was saying, like, I would never buy a ticket for that. Maybe if you had another ticket and wanted me to go, I definitely would go at you. But I don't even know what I would be going for except for to get a kick out of how...
People watching, right?
Yeah, but mostly you watching. Because I love when you
Yeah.
get flustered.
Oh, yeah.
I would be like...
Well, there's got to be hundreds of dudes that are just like me, red in the face, and like, there's too many people here.
oh, yeah. They're not...
Like you.
Yeah.
No, actually, at an event like that, I might be like, yo, I'm King Autism here. I these guys are freaking out. I'm doing way better than all of them.
Yeah, right. Yeah, King in the Castle. At least I'm not having.
I really, yeah. Who's that guy? Yeah, there'd be guys crying because this dude played Darth Vader for a day, and I'm like, who the fuck's that guy? I don't care. Cool.
James Earl Jones played Darth Vader.
Well, I was giving an example. I know that guy. I would be actually excited to meet him.
He's dead. Isn't he?
I don't know.
James Earl Jones is probably dead.
He was the voice of Darth Vader.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
You're
what I'm
right.
saying. Like something like that dude.
That's Rob Pinkerton. He was in the Darth Vader suit. Oh my god.
He played RTD2 in the one movie for 20 minutes when the guy had heat stroke, and that's a place where dudes would fawn over that guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd be like, so he's like the backup? All right, well, I'm going to get a churro.
A hot churro.
Steven's, we'll talk about that one. That's Steven's
alter ego.
Yeah, that I created for him.
Yeah. Okay, so let me give you, I'm really racking my brain to think of a convention that I would want to go to and say.
And I you know what, I'm going to add the caveat, it can't be a Philly sports-based thing. I don't know if they have conventions, but you can't just be like, oh yeah, I want to go meet the players of the Eagles.
Fair enough. I wasn't going to go there, but that's probably a good rule. I'm really having a tough time. Like, the closest I can come up with is, like, what you would call a Renaissance fair.
They're fun.
Yeah.
When's the last time you've been to one of those?
I've never been to one, but they sound fun.
No. All it does for me
I
is I go, I wish
shit.
I had a... There's corniness to it. Don't get me wrong.
course.
It's crazy. But then you just kind of accept it, and you roll with the punches. And there's some fun games you can play. But every time I go, I wish I had $12,000 to just drop on... I want to buy a helmet. I want to buy a sword.
Yeah.
I want to buy whatever it is. Because there's some dudes there that, especially... That's what made me want to get into leatherworking, which every time I go, I'm like, I'm going to get into leatherworking. Never have even touched leather. But they make, dude, some sick-ass shit. And it's not even, because the Renaissance Fair is not even Renaissance now. It's just a dress-up party, pretty much. Because then there's, like, the whole, like...
It's Renaissance.
No, it's
People
Renaissance.
are wearing chainmail.
Yes.
and-
No. Let me finish.
Well,
Can I finish?
It should be educational, too, right?
So, I don't know about educational. Maybe I skipped those. It's a 80% of it is for people to make money off of.
Well, of course.
Like a lot of it is just shops of these people that like I specialize in making chainmail or a knife maker. But also you'll see like girls that, like they just dress up as fairies and pixies.
So, like, yeah, it's a very gray area what counts for the Renaissance.
And then, you'll see, which is cool, but, like, the one time I went, it was a guy who made, like, an adaptation of a stormtrooper out of, like, Renaissance kind of looking thing. So, like, it was a stormtrooper helmet made out of leather.
I'm
and he
changing
wore, like,
my mind. This is not what I pictured it
It's
would be.
fun.
Like,
but also, I was getting plastered there.
Okay.
Because the only thing no, we didn't even buy. Did we ever buy the horn? The unlimited beer horn?
Not for unlimited beer, but you bought a horn, I thought.
I don't think I ever did.
I want to go. I was thinking like more of like basically like a history convention or like a Dark Ages convention where they would have like reenactments and like.
So they do the reenactment.
I'm just talking like a museum. Basically.
Yeah, I guess you just want to go to museums.
Because I don't drink, so I have to.
So,
it
but
has
now
to
they
be-
do the reenactment of the jousting, and like they kind of put on a play of this is the queen, and the one fun part is like every 2 hours, the king and queen march through, and so like they have all of like they have a jester that dances in front, and then like the military that protects them. That part's kind of cool, but yeah, it's not very educational. It's meant to little kids to want to buy a plastic sword and play with for 2 days, or me to go and get drunk and maybe buy armor.
Right.
Good news is none of the armor fits, so I haven't spent a bunch of money there.
Yeah, thank God, huh, Rachel?
Yeah, we would have a whole.
You will
thing.
see they do have some good shows though. Sometimes there's like some fun music stuff going on with like they'll play a lute, and like the one band, like it's like kind of he's an acrobat, but also they play like drums in the background to it. So it is fun. It is worth the ticket price, but
I mean, how much is a ticket? $30?
something around there. The more annoying part is you got to drive to like a dumb place and park and then walk 1.5 miles through like muddy grass.
That's kind of gets the setting, like, and the theme kind of, it builds it up. Because if it was just dead smack in the middle of like Pittsburgh in a fucking parking lot, wouldn't make
Of
a
course,
lot of sense.
and it is big because they have, the one we go to anyway has like 4 different sections to it. And then it is funny, all the way in the back they had a haunted house.
Yeah, and they're just trying to sell stuff.
Yeah, they're just trying to make some money.
Ooh, maybe I'm embarrassed a little bit to admit this, but maybe like Ancient Alien, like I don't even know what it would be called, but like, where Richard or Stephen Greer, Dr. Stephen Greer and his boys go and they do the CE5 and try to bring aliens with the mass meditations. Even if I don't buy it, it would be definitely interesting to be there.
I thought you were going to say like a horror film convention because you like scary movies.
I could check that out.
If Pittsburgh had one and it's in the convention center, so there's going to be good value for spending the money in the space. But I also, that as soon as I say that, I go, it's going to be a bunch of fat white women that just put blood on their face.
Yeah,
And people that like I'm a zombie. It's like, all right, cool.
Yeah, so is everyone else. Plus, like, I like horror movies, but like not like slasher flicks, and I think a lot of it would just be that kind of shit.
Yeah. Because you know what, it would be like Rob Zombie's horror convention.
Stupid shit. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Alien Con. I want to check that out.
I would go to Alien Con.
And
I just once again people watch, and then if there's one booth that I'm like, I want to see what this guy has to say, it'll be worth it to me.
Oh yeah, and there's gonna be people that like are like claim they're like insiders. It'd just be interesting to hear what people have to say. Like, cause I buy some of it, but the other stuff, it's funny to see how like they fight amongst themselves. Like, I know the truth. You're putting fake stuff out there, and it's just funny, dude.
It literally is like competition of like, I almost was in the FBI, so I know.
Yeah, I have this source. Do you have this source? You know what else would be a convention where I don't know how I would probably get angry going, but you know what an indigo child is?
Like super hippie?
No, they're like
no.
these people who claim that their children are like special and super intelligent and this, that, and the other thing. And
like their children are smarter than other people?
way smarter and have like special abilities and shit. Read it. Indigo children, according to a pseudoscientific New Age concept, are children who are believed to possess special, unusual, and sometimes supernatural traits or abilities. The idea is based on concept developed in the 1970s by some lady who claimed to have been noticing indigo children beginning to pop up.
As soon as I seen 1970s and supernatural, I go, this is hippie bullshit. This is my kid when he was younger thought he saw something in a corner and they were just lame enough to go like, oh, you got the gift. Your great grandmother used to talk about having the eye. You have the third eye. That's all like.
That's exactly what it. But that would be one where it's like, let's go check these fucking weirdos out.
I would go, yeah, but I would have to be like, we're gonna get kicked out probably because I'm gonna see
dead serious. Bro.
I'm gonna see the fucking what was that girl's name? The Long Island supernatural seer. She had a show on or whatever.
She sells tickets at like casinos and shit.
If I see her and people are giving her money, I'm gonna go.
Nails.
I'm just gonna go fucking intervention. This is bullshit.
She thinks she's like a mob wife. Psychic.
Dude, it's ridiculous. With the Karen haircut. Like
totally. She's been on like fucking like Ellen show type shit. She's big.
You know what? I'm going to say it here. All of Long Island, just let that part of the country
only
sink.
because they won't shut the fuck up about being from Long Island and how great it is. And
growing up playing lacrosse in the Northeast, well, Strong Island lacrosse players. It's like, dude, I hate Long Island.
Being from Long Island isn't a personality.
That's their thing. It's like, well, what do you do? I'm from Long Island. What do you mean?
Same thing with people who get a shit ton of tattoos. That's fine if you like tattoos, but that is not a personality. It doesn't substitute for personality. Speaking
So
of,
before you had tattoos, what did you do? I just didn't have tattoos. What do you mean?
I came up with ideas for tattoos.
This one right here, it's a spirit animal of like, I had a computer that died when I didn't want it to die.
Speaking of spirit animal, I watched this documentary last night on Amazon Prime.
Hippos. My spirit animal's a hippo.
You said it.
Deadliest animal in the world,
Okay.
dude.
It's also a
And
big,
they're also
big
cool.
old-
And they're good in the water.
They are good. That's true. They are good in the water. You're pretty good.
What are
in
you
the water.
saying, Steven?
I just said you said it.
What'd your spirit animal be?
I've never thought about it, but probably some kind of avian creature.
No, I'm guessing more like a,
A dweeble isn't an actual animal.
what are those bats that pee on their own face? What are they called?
Most bats.
No, something.
Wildcat on Amazon Prime is about this English kid who was in Afghanistan and almost killed himself after he came back and was losing his shit. So he went to Peru and went to the jungle and met this girl who's out of his league. But that's not the point. This girl runs a organization that reintroduces hurt and abandoned animals to the wild, and he there's no instruction book. No one's ever reintegrated a ocelot or ocelot, which is just a cat, a big cat.
Oh, okay.
And
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
so
Some people domesticate those things.
right, you could domesticate, but no one's ever taken one that was like a baby and taught it how to be wild without his mother, because they're fucking killers.
Because yeah, then they would just die in the wild.
Yeah. So anyway, long story short, it's a really good documentary. This kid is a fucking nutcase. The first ocelot dies, and he cuts himself. He's a cutter. This chick is like getting her doctorate, and she's like fucking flying back and forth to America, and he's like just this baby nutty bitch. You got it. It's good. I'm not. Maybe you guys don't like it, but you know how I like these character studies. It's way more than just about the ocelot.
Well, you have given some great character studies, which I don't know what this is about. I'll watch it, and I don't know what the fuck it's. I really don't know what it's about the way you're describing it. But one of the best documentaries you've ever told me about was the world's strongest man who can bend coins. What was
Bend metal.
Bend metal?
I don't know if that was what it was called, but that's what it was about.
Oh my god, that was so good. Rachel, can you Google that for me real quick while we just kind of explain it? You'll remember the documentary.
Just Google world's strongest man that could bend metal.
So it wasn't world's strongest man. It was this guy who his family meth. There's something there.
Stainless steel.
Stainless steel.
Is that
That's
the name
it.
of the movie?
That's definitely his name that he goes by. Because then he has the girlfriend who he's trying to teach to be his like front man, and she's not getting it.
Dude, every character in that movie,
his brother,
they're whacked out.
Smokes. It's crazy. I go watch. What's it called again?
Stainless steel.
Please watch it. I can't explain it because I'm not going to do it justice.
You can't, because it's so real and unbelievable that these people exist.
This is poor. This is the best way I can put it.
They're from Jersey.
This is
too.
from crap parts of Jersey, super white trash. This guy's thing. At one point in this thing, he goes to a 5-year-old's party. I believe the kid was like 5 or 6. That
it was
young.
a children's birthday
For
party.
some reason, the parents hire him, and his big thing is he can take a really big nail and bend it.
No, remember he can bend a coin.
Oh, he can bend like a
quarter.
Yeah, so
Sometimes.
sometimes
You have to watch it.
dude. And that's all he practices. Like he doesn't lift weight. He lifts like 2 weights and then just sits there and try and bends metal. And then
he doesn't work out or anything really. He just learned how to bend a coin.
It's not about what he does. It's
Not even
the story be around him. He's living with this girl.
No, he's
and-
living with his girlfriend and her sister, and the sister's like always bitching about
Just
him.
a bitch.
And he's trying to get her out of the picture so he can try to work on his relationship, and it's great, dude. It really is. It is impossible to describe that and do it justice.
I'll put that up there with it's a total different thing, because sometimes I'll suggest something. Gentleman Bronco.
Right, which isn't a documentary.
It's not a documentary at all, but it's one of those things. Sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't, and that's another one you need to watch.
This documentary, though, the stainless steel, you can't not get it because these are real people. It's a documentary. So unless you're one of these people, you might not get it because you're them.
I might have to watch that tonight, dude. It's so fucking good.
Yeah. And I don't suggest movies that often because I get that 90% of the time nobody wants to watch the movie you suggest. So I only give you suggestions, usually a documentary that's really good. But this Wildcat movie was worth your hour and 20 minutes.
I'll have to give it a look.
It's free. It's on Prime.
I want to, Rachel, I pulled up a list. What's your spirit animal? I feel like you already have one locked and loaded because you're kind of into that stuff a little bit.
Spirit animal? I've
Steven,
never
think of one.
really thought about that much.
Nothing, huh?
I'm an owl. Give me owl.
Why do you say owl?
They're night creatures. They're solitary creatures. They are like kind of like shadow creatures, a little mysterious, and they're really intelligent birds.
Yeah, but they have good eyes.
Yeah, but I'm not physically an owl. It's my spirit animal.
No, but your eyes are so shitty you don't get to pick owl.
Why? Is that what you wanted?
No, I'm just kidding. But no, I pulled up. Let's see if owl's up here, because let's see.
I was gonna say bunny.
Okay, well that's closer. Let's look at bunny. I was just busting balls, by the way. Owl's not. That's a good one.
Armadillo, sensitive, defensive, trustworthy, calm, I might be armadillo, bro.
Just because it says calm and isolated.
And humble.
You mean humble, bitch?
Who would even say bluebird? I wouldn't. That's not even an animal.
Well, it is technically an aminal. No, who would say crane?
Yeah.
Crane, isolated, integrity, endurance, attentive, self-reliant, and wisdom.
See, and are any of these like terrible animals?
Well,
like,
yeah, they're not going to be like.
Is like
yeah, it's not going to be like
gimpy,
fat, lazy,
unintelligent.
I'm kind of good at this one thing.
Dragon.
And if you just say dog,
dragon's not a fucking animal.
I love that it says dragon. Only the community of people that totally believe in. Oh, all right, Rachel. Rabbit, creative, prosperity, intensity, love, cleverness, sensitivity, harmony, and imagination.
Time out. How do you equate imagination to a rabbit? Who came up with these? What about a rabbit is imaginative?
What about like the rabbit in Alice in Wonderland?
Okay.
I was gonna say yeah.
I don't think that's a bad pick, rabbit, but I don't agree with the imagination part of the rabbit.
Dude, I don't fit any of these.
You picked yours already.
Let's see if they actually have.
Why don't they have owl though? It's pissing
If
me
you
off.
picked one, just Google that.
Well, no, keep going on
I
this
have a
list.
list. Yeah, this is fun.
Ooh.
Who picks ant? Because ants are badass.
There are
but
people out there who are really into insects. We're just not.
True.
Oh, whale. Wisdom, power,
Yeah,
strength.
I should have went whale.
Self-reliant, protection, bravery, and ancestry.
I'm not that brave though. I'll be honest.
And you're not that ancestry. I don't know if anybody is that.
A little. I actually think
They're hippo.
hippo. Strength, protection, wisdom, hardworking, fertile, and balance. I got a couple of those. I don't know about fertile. I haven't really tested that one yet. Hardworking. Nah, I'll be honest. I don't know about that. Unless I really like it. Yeah, I guess I'm not really a hippopotamus.
You're not a hippo, bro.
Damn it.
Inchworm.
Yeah, who the fuck picked... Dude, if you pick inchworm, logical, transformation, subtlety, concealment...
Dude,
and
I'm inchworm. I'm totally inchworm. Although transmutation, that doesn't say transformation. Transmutation. Can you look get the definition for the word transmutation? Who would describe themselves as that?
Do you want to be a girl, Steven?
No, that would be transformation. Kiwi? That's a fucking fruit.
No, that's a type of bird.
I know.
Alert. Fidelity?
That means...
What is that? Doesn't that mean like you cheat?
That means, no, the opposite. That's infidelity. You're thinking.
Ladybug? What the fuck's a loon?
Transmutation is the conversion or transformation of one species into another,
Okay.
or the changing of one element into another by radioactive decay, nuclear bombardment, or similar
That's
You're not
processes.
you're
what I
not
knew it
afraid
as.
to microwave cups and shit, dude.
That is true. But that's why I was confused by transmute. Because the only thing I've ever heard of transmute is like turning metal into gold as transmutation. So Inchworm's a dumb pick.
Dude, I might be a moose.
That's
Feminine?
a cool one.
Yeah, it's weird that it's feminine there, but as a man,
Yeah, you're
I'm
kind
not-
of a feminine man.
You don't get to...
I wasn't gonna say.
You don't get to pick your animal based on the description. You're not allowed to do this.
But I already picked
Okay, so you're
a
the
hippopotamus, but I'm not that. So that's the thing. We're trying to define what your spirit animal is.
Can you find owl?
And I'll be honest, as a man, I'm not worried about being a macho man. Unless I'm going to be Macho Man Randy Savage. All right, let's find owl.
Just see if it's on. There it is.
Wisdom, secret keeper, freedom, comfort, stealth, vision. Protection and deception.
I'm
You
not-
might be an owl.
I'm close, but the last two is like, what am I, a fucking Navy SEAL? Why am I out here?
There's a lot of protection in here.
yeah.
But you know what?
That's
I will
a pretty
say,
good guess. I was pretty close.
I will say, secret keeper, just because you don't have a lot of people to tell things to. Freedom for sure. Comfort 1,000%. If you don't want to do it, you ain't doing it.
Yeah.
Stealth.
I can stay
now that you're
low-key.
skinny, sometimes you sneak up on me. I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah.
Vision. I assume they mean in the sense of like.
Right. Like,
Seeing things down the line,
Yeah.
seeing things through. Protection, I'll say that time when we were picking up our suits for my wedding, you were protective of me because
Yeah, that was
I was
not
like
okay.
crying, and you stood up to this grown ass man. So I'll give you that. And when you're not doing things right, you can be deceptive.
definitely.
Al was a pretty good one for you.
Yeah. There you go.
There you go.
Otter. That's your otter, bro. Lively, cheerful.
I'm kindness, sensibility.
No, you're kindness. You're not cheerful though.
I can be.
Only sometimes.
Yeah. They just need to add sometimes pissed off. Panda, adaptability, determination. I don't have willpower.
Okay, so anyway, we're still shooting an episode.
Well, I'm going to come back with a better one of what the hell, a pelican. Who picks some of these things? That's crazy.
Some people are really into birds.
You know what? Actually, it is. I could see myself like getting old and getting into birds.
Again, it gets you outside.
And it like sometimes that I'll tell you what. I've had it twice. One time at a Renaissance fair actually when they had the owls. They had a section. These owls were like 4 feet from you, and they had 4 different type. And they are a really interesting creature, bro. Because you can see when they look at you, and then when they look behind you, it's like a microscope with their eyes. It's creepy.
The lens of their eye changes.
And what was the one called?
They're straight killers too.
The one was called a screecher, and I might be wrong about this. I forget, but it could screech, and I think paralyze certain bugs if it got close enough to it.
Whoa.
It was a barn owl screecher. It was known for its voice, and I think it could use its voice to help hunt, and also I think they also can do
Sonar?
I don't know. This was a long time ago,
Like
but
a bat does with the noises?
kind of, yeah, something along the lines of
Remember
that.
when we went to that whale museum and I told that guy, the old guy was telling us all about the sperm whale, and I was like, yeah, they can use their clicks deep out in the ocean to stun the squid. And he was like, no, that they don't do that. And I had watched something like a month earlier.
We were watching documentaries about whales.
Yeah,
And this guy was nice because he sat and he just waited.
he couldn't wait to talk
We went
about
to
them.
a whale museum, a whaling museum. And so all covered was whales and how they've hunted them in the past. And the one room was just designated to the sperm whale. And this guy just waited in the corner.
This was the room where they had all the different spears. And I think there was a sperm whale like...
a gigantic thing hanging in the middle of the room.
Yes. Yeah, you're right.
It was like the size of a sperm whale hanging in this room. And this guy's one job was probably to spit
he's
these
a
4
senior
facts.
citizen.
Yeah, and then he threw his day off.
Yeah. Well, I'm surprised no one's ever said that to him before. But he didn't say 4 or 5 sentences. He was going on and on.
Yeah. Well, and he did mention, whales are cool people.
Whales
Dude,
are fucking
whales
the best
are,
animal.
It's sad what happens to them. Now,
They're coming back. They're coming back, though.
I think I'm an elephant.
Well, you do love elephants.
I love elephants, and I don't know what it is, but I like to protect people. I like to care for people. I'm somewhat intelligent and I like to figure things out.
Well, pull up elephant on the list before we get out of here. Where are we at on time?
I'm gonna say hour and a half.
Right about or 120.
Okay. Elephant. Strength, loyalty, definitely loyal. Determination, confidence, honor, pride, dignity, and royalty.
Some of those are definitely spot on.
It's weird, but what does royalty mean? I don't know. It's funny because they just put these words up.
It means you like to act like the king of the
You
house.
definitely have a lot of pride.
I do.
You're
Too much
loyal.
pride sometimes.
You're loyal. You're strong.
Confidence in certain things. But it's funny because, you know what? Honor and pride, I do have those, but sometimes they're the downfall of me.
Yeah, I tell you all the time. You have too much pride sometimes. You'd be acting a fool out here with all your pride.
Emu. Dude, some of these are fun. I'll have to go through this offline. It's funny. I'm a goldfinch.
Gold. Oh, wow. Yeah. I'm a grasshopper. Good fate.
No, you're not a grasshopper, dude. You're the Hitler of grasshoppers at the old house, dude.
No, those were
Crickets?
caterpillars.
No, dude, they were the ones that could jump. The black.
Crickets. Caterpillars are like...
Yeah, not caterpillars.
Remember, they would be all up on the wall, and I would dump boiling hot water on the wall and just kill like 150
No,
of them at a
I
time.
remember being there, and you'd hear, and you would be like, I can't do anything until I find this and murder that thing.
Oh, at the newer house.
Yeah.
Yeah, I fucking hate those things.
And
They're so obnoxious. They're like loud truck people.
dude, you had a fucking chemical warfare against them.
I did.
And we're trying to sell that house now, and it's like you either did eradicate them or
Mutated
they're
them.
building back, and there's going to be grasshoppers that bleach and
Crickets, not grasshoppers. Crickets.
yeah.
These black, monstrous looking fucking loud bugs.
it was just funny because like that was your domicile.
Yeah,
your
and
area.
they invaded.
And you were, dude, you would stop, you would turn off everything, and you never had lights on. You'd turn on all the lights, start moving boxes, and you'd have your,
those little fuckers.
what is it, 80-20 bleach to water?
Yeah, that's all it takes. But they are loud when they're inside. They're
such
so
a-
fucking loud.
Such a slow death, man. Just bleach it to death.
It works. And bleach isn't like a lot of those sprays and shit. Those bug sprays are like really carcinogenic.
Yeah.
Bleach is not going to cause cancer immediately anyway.
Couldn't you technically have just poured boiling water on them to kill them?
But they were in like
No.
crevices and shit.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
there was something that sprayed at them.
Okay.
Because of the French drain, too.
And they're fast. And they jump.
And
Sometimes
can
they would jump at you.
you.
Motherfuckers.
'Cause they knew. That's why I say it was warfare at one point.
They knew
dude.
I was coming. They'd be hiding.
You were
and
like,
shit.
I'm trying to kill your whole
family.
family and generation, dude.
Yeah. That's funny, dude. I forgot. Yeah.
Crazy.
And like it took me like a year, and then like the next spring I noticed a rapid decline in the numbers, but I still didn't kill them all yet. And then by like the second summer, like they were stragglers. Those fuckers were trying to take over, man.
They were. It's just funny how much it bothered you, because.
It was a game too.
Well, you know, it's funny because I remember I was telling you, I was like I don't. They made noise, so it sucks. But they say like you shouldn't, like if you have a basement, like they say like it's really not great to kill all the spiders you see, because one, spiders will eat other insects. But two, what it does is the spiders you don't see, they're the smarter ones, so they're going to reproduce and make smarter spiders.
That's
So
some next level shit, but
you're-
it makes sense.
You're killing off the dumb ones that are easy to catch. So what you were doing by that last
I was helping
segment,
them.
when those last couple ones, they were the strongest. They were the gladiators of their species.
Dude, and they're smart. They would hide in like boxes and shit.
It was so much fun. Because then last time I was over, the like water heater was making noise, and you got mad at me, and I was like, I don't know if that's a bug. And you're like, well, you're not going to get up and help me. And I was like, I don't care if a cricket's back there. To be honest, be completely honest with you, they don't bite. They don't.
I took it personally, clearly, that these fuckers are trying to take over.
They're on your territory. Steven's
Yeah.
like, not in my fucking house.
Yeah, I like the smell of bleach, pussy. Let's go.
I do like the smell of bleach.
So yeah, I have a lot of meth head tendencies.
I don't call it meth. Quit being a crackhead right now.
Crackhead, man. Yeah.
Sometimes I have to take a roll of duct tape out of your hands because you're like, I'm just gonna duct tape this to this to this, and then now it's a thing.
Yeah, that's
And also in that basement, I was like, dude, you got to turn some fucking lights on. You don't have good eyes to start with. And two, I was like, I can't see down
That's
here.
never gonna change. At my spot right now, I only ever have one light on. I'll go in the bathroom and sit down to pee, just so I don't turn the light on.
Come on, man.
I don't get it either. It is what it is.
I get when it's like this type of like office lighting.
I don't get it
But you
either.
got normal lights in your house. You have multiple lamps with soft colored bulbs and shit in there.
I don't know. Yeah, it's a thing.
You like to just. You're lucky you don't have more broken toes than you do, to be honest.
Yeah.
Well, that's why you have to wear shoes. Maybe that's.
I don't. Yeah. Well, this way I don't have to worry about stepping on anything weird.
When did you start wearing shoes all the time?
You mean
Inside.
when I got my first pair of moccasins? Before that, I never did. Ever. I've always been a sock guy.
See, I'm not even a sock guy. Do you think it has anything to do with when you were in rehabs?
No. I would tell you. No.
Because I'd say like that would make sense. You were like, I was in place, so you just always wore a type of shoe.
The last thing you're doing when you're going to rehab is think, oh, pack my slippers.
I know that.
You're down and out and really not.
But if
in
you're
the-
there for a couple weeks and you go like, I don't want my feet to ever touch this ground.
Nah, basically in rehab you always have shoes on until you go to bed. Like it's not like your house where you're walking around with no shoes on. Like they're pretty.
That's kind of what he's saying, though, because you're used to wearing shoes all day until you go to
Nah.
bed.
Unless then maybe it's some kind of
But-
subconscious thing.
I will say I was never a slipper person until the last couple years, until I got a pair of good slippers,
And
and
then-
now I will not wear slippers
you
in
get
the
it.
house.
She turned into a robe person.
Yeah, I never thought I would wear a robe, like just around,
Yeah.
but
Once you find one you
fucking
like,
cozy.
it's an upgrade. And you probably would wear the mocks too if your feet fit in them.
No, well, maybe it's because I have wide feet, but as soon as I can take my socks and shoes off, I do.
Yeah.
I like my barefoot.
I always
and
have.
it sucks because I have like the ugliest feet in the world. I have like 9.5 toenails.
Now you're married.
They don't all go the right way. A lot of my toes don't go the same way. But I like my natural feet out. It feels healthy.
No one else does.
Before we end, I'll give you a quick. Went to the gym. This was my third day this week. Hit my goal. I seen a couple peacockers today.
You'll find them in
You're
the gym.
seeing them. The only reason I bring this up is this was the guys who lift weights and check themselves out in the mirror. I get that. When you're lifting, you're feeling yourself. I don't hate that. There was a guy in there today that on my count, all I could see him do was some push-ups and some pull-ups and shadow box himself. Not even against in a mirror. He was like just acting like he was throwing punch. Like he never threw the punch, but just
How old was this guy?
25. But he was like $130. Now he could do
I was
pull-ups.
gonna say that sounds like something an old black fella would do.
Yeah, no, that would make more sense.
Yeah, just
but it
little
was funny too because like,
calisthenics.
and he was wearing weird shoes. They were like knockoff Converse, but they went like
Like long, like up to the mid.
Yeah, like mid calf.
That's how boxing.
But these
boots
were
used
not
to be.
boxing.
But do you know what I'm saying?
I know. Yeah. No, these were just. I don't know what they were, and they were like peach colored. And the kid was doing pull-ups and push-ups, looking good. But it's funny because he would go to throw like do this,
and then check
but check his form. Like he'd stand like this and like be like, all right, am I on the right part of my toe? The whole time I watched this guy, never actually threw a punch. Just kept checking his form, but doing a lot of head movement.
Let's hope he is a boxer.
This guy was not.
Because why he checking your form?
Dude, this guy was. I can just tell. Like, I if he was, that's the type of dude that you get surprised knocked out. It's crazy.
If you care about the podcast, you should start to live in the world where you can ask people about these things. Just go up to him and say, "Hey, man, what are you training for?"
Yeah, you're right. That guy. The other day,
because then you would know. Maybe he was just spectrumy.
It's funny because this 3 times I've been there. I've called it out twice. Not a bad thing. They have these things called hydro massage beds, where like you just lay on it and like
sounds nice.
Yeah, like just. You don't get wet, but like it's just like water things massage you, kind of just jets.
But you don't get wet.
No, you lay
like
on a
in
bed.
the chair.
Yeah, just a fancy massage chair.
Okay.
Which I don't have the confidence to ever get on there because people are gonna be like the kids.
Do you know why you don't have the confidence? Because you're spending the whole time at the gym judging everybody else in the gym.
Very true. Because I didn't notice any of the peacockers.
That's why you are like so hung up on how many people are gonna be at the gym. Who's at the gym?
That's a little bit true.
It's a lot of
but
it true.
I also see a lot of people in there that I'm like, dude, I'm rooting for people. Like there's like, but then there is the kid, like, for instance, okay, and not that I know a workout plan or anything. I know what a calf raising machine is. Mm-hmm. Okay, and you have too. We had it in football. Well, I noticed they had one there, and I like to have nice calves. And I was like, I want to get them back. I know I was the first person to ever use this machine simply because it's a brand new thing. There still was plastic on all of the...
Yes, because most people don't know what a calf raising machine is.
So I went and used it. And the one dude that was using the multi-purpose thing, I've seen him 3 times now. That's all he does. I don't, go for your glamour.
What do you mean multi-purpose?
The one that has like the lat pull down and then on the other side is like...
A Bowflex type deal.
Ish, yeah. Okay. A fancier type thing. And good for you. Go for your glamour muscles. This guy's in decent shape. But I watched him watch me use this machine. Mm-hmm. And I put 45 on each side because calves are strong. And I did it. And then, and now I take my weights off and put them back on the thing. Because if an old lady wants to use it and only put 10s on there, she can't pick up 45 pounds. 5 minutes after I do it, this guy goes immediately to this machine after watching what I did and does that. Is that peacock? Like, that is something. He didn't know how to use that machine. Watch me do it.
Maybe he was nervous. And
this guy is not nervous. This guy is not nervous.
And
this guy is not
then
nervous.
Knew how to do it because he
watched you do it. No,
watched
that's what I was
going to
say. He didn't know how to use it till you did it.
Yeah,
but
that's something I would have done.
And put the exact same weight on there. Okay, and then did half a set and stopped.
That's not.
And left the weights on there. But no, he was peak.
You just think he's a douche.
He's a douche. He was pulling his sleeves up and peck out and doing this.
You keep adding more to the story.
Yeah, that's different than just
he's been
going
there,
on
he's
the
been,
machine.
The 3 times I went, he's been there. And he's only done 3 things.
See, this is why you hate going to the gym. See how much you know about this guy?
Yeah, I don't even know what guy you're talking about.
I'm just saying, a little change.
Rachel, you didn't notice the Asian guy that got on the treadmill next to me.
I told you I noticed him, but then you were talking about the treadmill. I didn't notice him on the treadmill.
You got to go in with a different perspective.
I'm going to keep going. I don't care about these people.
Okay.
I don't care that are you stronger than me.
Apparently you do care.
Yeah.
No, I'm trying to bring my experience to you because
listen, I'm going to go with you on Tuesday, and then I'll have another viewpoint to say, is this place wacky? Are there a bunch of peacocks? Do I look good in the mirror? I don't know. We'll find out.
Maybe Steven is an undercover peacock.
I'm a
listen. I will. When we first got there,
I
we
definitely
parked.
I wouldn't use a machine I didn't know how to use until someone else did it.
Of course.
Okay.
But the fact that all he has done is biceps and chest.
That's just
And then seen me do this, and I and maybe it's in my head, but he put the same exact amount of weight on there.
He wanted to see if
He wanted to see if he could do what I just did.
Probably. You're a big guy.
But
yeah.
It's funny. Like
I'm surprised you.
Or maybe he thought, okay, he put this much on. That's the proper amount of weight that you're supposed to put on here.
Yeah, or he was admiring your calves, bro. And he's like, damn.
they're not in shape yet. He's not American.
Yeah, you still got for
a while. I used to have nice calves.
Okay. I think your calves
hey,
are just fine.
I will admit, when we got there, I seen, because you can see through the window. I go, God damn it. It's on the treadmills. It's like the same thing as the urinal rule, where like
people skip one,
but sometimes they'll skip two. Like they want to have as much space as possible. You know what I mean?
That's like parking obnoxiously where there's street only parking. You can't be fucking breaking all these rules. Now that's one. You know what I'm saying? Now that machine's never going to get used because we need to double it up.
Well, that's the thing. And so, once again, there's enough space.
I get
and these
why
are big enough. But, like, when we got there, I seen two dudes, and we parked next to this obnoxious truck. And I go, Rachel, I guarantee that's those two dudes.
Was it probably a loud-ass truck?
Possibly, but it was raised and had dumb tires on it. And as soon as I seen those two, the one dude had those, like, garbage bag type of shirts. The ones make you sweat more. And I was like, I guarantee that's them. I told Rachel, and it pissed me off because I go, I just want to hop on the treadmill as fast as possible. I get, if there's one person, you skip a treadmill and go to the next one. All right, the urinal rule. But like the two people that were there right when we got in, luckily they got off. It was like they were in the middle, and there was like three skipped. So me and Rachel walked next to each other because we want to take up as least amount of room. But I thought they were going to be peacockers. They ended up being cool dudes.
Well, I'm excited to see what it's like.
So I admitted, I was like, I'm going to hate these fucking assholes. And actually, you know who I ended up not liking? I thought I seen a girl with like a nose piercing and engaged ears. Don't hang out at my gym. We're here to work. Don't be here with your buddies joking all loud and shit.
Okay. Well, that's your gym.
Right, Rachel? Time. Okay. Alrighty. Well, thank you for listening. We'll keep you updated on the gym stories. I am Gene Labordi. That's Stephen Labordi. Rachel Labordi's over there telling me I got to shut up. Can you give us our plugs real quick?
Okay. We are on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. Head to our website to find all of our links. Our website is aml.news.blog.
Thank you for listening. Comment, like, or do what you please.
Smash that like button.
Smash that like button. Good job, everybody. Also, don't ever cut me off when I'm talking about the gym. I've gone 3 times now. I'm basically